They basically think that from Adam to Yeshua is 4,000 years. Which, if you do use the genealogy, if you do use the patriarchs and you use like how long they used to live and do a map, and you see that basically it has been about 4,000 years from the fall of humanity to Yeshua, his death, burial, and resurrection is about 4,000 years. And since we live in the future, we know it's been about 2,000 years. So, sorry, 2,000 years, which will bring us up to year 6,000 or around year 6,000. And I say around for a reason. And then if we use scripture, we can see that there's going to be a 1,000 years of peace. And then we're going to be a year. So basically from 6,000 to 7,000, it should be 1,000 years. 1,000 years of peace, right? Scripture says that there's going to be 1,000 years of peace. But we know that when God deals with Sabbaths and rest, that deals with seven, that deals with the idea of God creating the earth in 6 days, resting on the seventh, right? So it makes sense that there's 1,000 years of peace. But if we're really coming up on year 6,000, that would mean that the tribulation should really be starting very soon. Jesus should be coming back very soon. The fulfillment of the time should be very soon. Now, I'm not saying this is true. This is just a model because Jesus said the times and the seasons are for the Father, because the disciples were asking him, and he's just like, no angel in heaven, not even I know the day or the hour. So there's still this mystery around if the Father will do it this way or if not. We don't know. He could do it differently. He could say, okay, this is the end. I'm going to do it different. But we know him as this consistent one who does go by his dates, his times, his seasons, his feasts, his festivals, his appointed times. We know that he does do things in order. And I wouldn't say he's random. He's not random, but he can surprise us because, we just never know. You never know. But the interesting thing about this, if this is true, that would mean that the tribulation will have to start very soon. Strong's number 2033 is 7. So when you go in the concordance, the number that represents 7 in the concordance is 2033. Now, we know that Jesus was 33 when he died. His death, burial, and resurrection were at the age of 33. His ministry was 3 years. He died at the age of 33. He resurrected at the age of 33. It's kind of known, some people know it, some people don't, that it's very likely that Jesus was not born, like the starting of the calendar being like 0 is not actually the year that Jesus was born. And if that's true, if he was actually a baby a little bit in the BC time and the calendar is a little bit messed up, a couple of years, it's only a couple of years off, that would mean that he actually died in the year 28 AD. This 0 doesn't really represent when he died or when he was born. It's just something, I don't know. There's a story of how this kind of got messed up, but I don't really know the full story, but that would mean that he died in 28 AD. In 2,000 years from 28 AD is the year 2028. So if we're going off of his death, burial, and resurrection year and adding 2,000 years to that to get to this year 6,000, that would mean that the tribulation would have to start in the year 2021 in order for us to see this year 6,000 be fulfilled as a Sabbath millennium. We don't know if the Lord's going to do it different, but we do know that we're really close to the year 6,000. The Lord is showing us in dreams. We can tell it's been 2,000 years since the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. It's about to be 2,000 years. So if he wasn't born a little bit before 0, that will mean that, just say he was born here, that would mean that 2,000 years from 33 AD is the year 2033, which is the Strong's Concordance number for 7, which is a Zion, which is a cutoff. I'm not saying this is true. This is just something to think about. It's something that is kind of interesting. So if the year 2033 is the end of the tribulation and the start of the 1,000 year period, 6,000 to 7,000, then that means that the tribulation has to start at around 2025 to 2026. I'm not saying the Lord's coming. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but it's very interesting.